Okay, guys, a couple of kids have asked me if I could do a read aloud, since that's something we do very often in our classroom. And it's a little hard to do right now, but I thought I would give it a try. So this is called What Was the Titanic? And I think I'm going to read one chapter at a time, and then I'll stop it. And that way you can listen to one chapter at a time. So this first part, this is before the first chapter. This is called What Was the Titanic? April 14th, 1912. The grandest luxury ship ever, the Titanic, was crossing the Atlantic Ocean. It was on its maiden or first voyage. The ship had left England 4 days earlier. It was making great time. In just a few days, the Titanic was scheduled to arrive in New York City. Aboard the ship, the evening of April 14th seemed just like any other. First-class passengers enjoyed a feast with 10 courses, including oysters and filet mignon. The Titanic's captain, Edward John Smith, joined a dinner party in first class. It was hosted by a wealthy couple from Philadelphia. After dinner, some first-class passengers played cards or listened to the orchestra. And an orchestra is like a band that plays different instruments. In second class, a minister sang hymns with about 100 people. Down in third class, passengers danced together in their lounge, known as the general room. But after a long day at sea, many aboard the Titanic were already in bed. Captain Smith checked in with his officers at the bridge around 9 p.m. The bridge was the command center of the ship. Smith told his officers to let him know if any problem arose, so if any problem came up. Then he went to his cabin. Outside, the night was very cold. There was no moon, but the sky was clear. Thousands of stars shone brightly. The sea was so calm, it looked like a mirror. No waves rippled in the distance. Up in the crow's nest, 2 lookouts kept watch, ready to spot danger. In this part of the Atlantic, ice was a concern. Ships had to be very careful to avoid hitting an iceberg. The 2 lookouts chatted and tried to keep warm. So here's the Titanic here. And from the lookout, they were able to see out in the ocean to see if there was anything that they could possibly hit. So that was their job at night, to watch, to make sure that there wasn't anything dangerous. Then suddenly, at 11:40 p.m., almost out of nowhere, a large black shape came into view. Could it be? Yes, it was an iceberg. The iceberg was almost directly ahead of the ship. It looked like the ship might run straight into it. The lookouts rang the warning bell 3 times, the sign for an emergency. They telephoned the bridge where the officers were stationed. "Iceberg, right ahead," they shouted. The officers only had 37 seconds to respond. First Officer William Murdoch contacted the engine room and ordered the ship's engines stopped and put into reverse. Would the Titanic avoid the iceberg? Or was it too late?